Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Blue-White Cat Tempo. We've got Guide of Souls in the house, the best white creature ever printed, in my humble opinion. We've got Ocelot Pride, Guide's partner in crime, creating litters and litters of kittens that essentially go extremely wide and make it inviable for your opponent to attack you to death with their Barragoyfs, just to help you gain tons of life along the way so you don't get burned out, so you don't get stormed out. Static Prison is a new addition to the deck. This is a great answer to Tamio. It's also something you can put in off show and tell to exile their Omniscience or their Emrakul or whatever it is they were planning to kill you with. And we've got the best removal ever printed. We've got lots of cantrips. We've got the 4 days, 4 Wasteland package. And we've got Tamio. Recently, her life got extended. Death Row is, they I guess, filed a injunction or granted her some sort of appeal, some sort of reprieve. Sorry, I'm flexing my vocab from execution. Stay of execution. That's what I'm looking for. We got the 4 days, as I mentioned. Brazen Borrower is another cool tempo card. And Murktide. These are the only cards in the deck that cost more than 2 mana. And of course, Mockingbird to copy our Ocelot Pride, to copy our Guide of Souls, to copy our opponent's Bowmasters and shoot their Bowmasters so that we can continue to draw cards with impunity. Sideboard is 3 Prismatic Endings. I think these are really good, even in a 2-color deck. If you're up against Delver, if you're up against one of the big creature decks like the green-black deck, Griddle Control with all the white of the reliquaries and everything. We've got 3 Force Negations for combo. Dress Down is pretty good against bigger creature decks. It's good against Barragoyf because it makes it an X1 or 0/1 and then you just block it and kill it, which is sweet. We've got 3 Hydroblasts. We're seeing more red in the meta, especially like Hexing Squelcher, 4 Consigns, still respecting Eldrazi. First round has already started. Let's jump in. We're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. Round 1, we may have an energy show-off. Our opponent plays a lot of modern, and they play white-red energy. And let's take a look at this hand. So this is Mockingbird. I mean, we're going to be used to just having 1 land, frankly. This is an 18-land deck. So we can just fetch a Tundra, put out the Ocelot Pride, and then we can copy it. We can protect it with Daze. I'm going to keep this. We're on the play. Let's just go wide with cats. I would have loved to have... something else here, but Daze does give me heart if they're on combo that they're not going to just run away with the game, like kill us before we can kill them. There are no basic planes in the deck, if you're wondering. And again, that's a decision that I made because I always want to have Daze up, and I always want to be able to cast Merc on 2 lands. We're in with the cat. Wasteland is probably the scariest thing that could happen here, but if they're wasting, they're not dealing with our cat, and we're at least creating more cats. So I will Daze pretty much anything they put on the stack here, just because we don't have a land drop next turn. Will I Daze a Thoughtseize? No. I think I'll let them take the damage here, and they can take my Daze if they want, but I think there's a decent chance they have to play around it. They do see that I don't have a second land. Mockingbird copying cat is going to be quite strong if they let me do that. Weakest card in my hand is probably Static Prison, because we're almost certainly going to be plowing them. Black-white is not a combo color combination usually. They took the plow. Solitude. Well, I'll Daze that. Yeah, I question that play. Okay, so they 2-for-1 themselves. I don't think that was the correct play. Okay, so I'm just going to mock and I'm going to swing. And we're going to get double trigger here. Mockingbird is insane. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is... now I have a flying cat alongside... my grounded cat, and we're going to get 2 cats in the end step. They're going to need an engineered plague pretty soon. Bowmasters is very good here if they have it, and there's a window where they can use it. Oh, shield. We've already gone so wide that, the damage may be done. They may be able to clear even both of these, but they're going to have very little left in their hand. And had I noticed that they were on Yorion, some people might be shouting at me from the comments. Yes, they're on Yorion, and yes, I completely overlooked that. This is the kind of card that can help them dig out of this because they can get the Solitude back and clear one of my cats. They did hit a Stoneforge Mystic, but they have to get Solitude here. They just scooped. Okay, great. So we're up against Black-White, Taxes. This is definitely a dress down matchup. Daze is not particularly strong here, especially not on the draw. I'm tempted to take it out completely and just bring in Prismatic Endings. They do have a pretty strong mana denial plan just in 4 Wastelands, but it's 4 Wastelands and 80 cards. Consign is an option here. I see a lot of people bring in Consign against this deck. I'm not sure that it's necessary. It probably is better than Static Prison, though. Yeah, I could do that. This might be one of those matchups where I have to fetch my island. I also don't like Tomio in this matchup at all because they have a lot of Croci in their deck. It sounds so weird, but I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to say it. Borrower sucks here because like they just redeploy. They don't have a lot of tokens to hit. Maybe I take out Borrower. I just want to go low curve. Consign's good because it can stop like, the Stoneforge trigger and basically turn Stoneforge into a paperweight. I think I'm going to bring in another PE. Again, I'm not happy with that card. I don't think it's great, but I think it's better than what I'll just do that. Again, like this is not like a perfectly tuned list. If you're like, man, what the hell is he even doing with the sideboarding? Like I didn't think about encountering this deck because it's not like a top 15 meta deck. I don't think it's an okay deck, but I think that like the Mardu tokens deck is so much better. It's not even funny. Like you should absolutely play that instead of playing Death and Taxes right now. In my humble opinion, if you're like looking for a tournament recommendation, the Mardu Taxes deck is like so much more menacing. It's so much faster, and it doesn't have to play kind of like, power crept out of the format cards like Aether Vial. It can just, deploy threats that are so menacing on their own that like just fire design cards, right? Like Amped Raptor, like a Johnny. Yeah, I probably should have cut some Tomios as well. There are situations where they get like a Stoneforge Mystic equipment creature like Caldra or something like that. And then, but I do have, Plows and Prismatic Endings that can also deal with that germ. So I feel it's fine. This hand is a lot of cats and a force. I think it's actually fine. If they waste me, it's pretty tragic because, again, I can't get a basic planes here. I definitely want to force a 2-drop if I can. If they put a cat or if they put Guide out, I'll definitely force that. Okay, no play. Come on, land. Okay, Merc is not what I wanted to see. I'm going to grab my Tundra, and I'm going to stick a Ocelot Pride, and I will force to defend the Ocelot Pride if they try to Plower, because like there's a decent chance that I'm just going to get wasted out of the game, and I won't have anything going on. And this might just be a total non-game. Murktide is the pitch. I'll keep the Consign up just in case. It comes in handy later to like stop a Phelia trigger. It can always stop the Yorion. Like they blink everything with Yorion and then you just consign the trigger and they don't get their stuff back. That's never happened, but in theory that could happen. People always say that to justify putting consign into their deck when they're up against Death and Taxes. All right. And I definitely need to stop a Bowmaster. That's like probably the biggest scary thing they could do here. But I'll stop like any 2-drop. Don't waste me. But I mean, like this could have gotten a plane, so maybe they're thinking like, oh, they clearly have another land because they would have just fetched their planes there. All right, so Murktide goes bye-bye. And we're going to produce some cats. If we draw another land, we're going to produce a lot of cats. We're going to go to cat country. Guide is, I mean, here, like, I hate to say it, but I think it's cats because we just go wider with cats. But if I go guide, I start getting energy. I get 2 cats with the pride. Yeah, I think from this, leave a comment with the timestamp. Let me think about this for a second. So we have plenty of time. We guide, then we attack, and then we get a cat, we get an energy. And they may make the mistake of killing the cat if they can kill something and not the guide. And then we stick the Ocelot Pride, and that'll keep triggering. Even if they play a blocker next turn, we can keep triggering off guide. Yeah, I think I do actually guide here. Just, again, this is the real star. This is the real star of the deck and of Legacy like white right now. You can still play like a Stoneforge tiled deck, but this is just so much more powerful than that sort of stuff, in my humble opinion. And now every cat, like assuming this stays on the table, every cat represents a trigger. The scariest thing they could do is still waste us because we did fail to play a land there. Okay, they're not wasting us. I think hopefully they make the mistake and they hit the cat. They don't. They're smarter than I gave them credit, and I'm happy to see that. I think they absolutely made the right play there. So I will plow this out of the way and just keep attacking. We still have 16 lands in the deck. We could draw one. That would be phenomenal. Everything but the basic island or the Wasteland will cast a second cat and allow us to plow in addition. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and ponder because I think there's a decent chance I find a land here. There we go. And I don't need these other cards that much. What I need is to plow this out of the way so I can continue my kitty conquest. My cat is named Kitty. That's what my daughter wanted to name it. Okay, so name her. It's a cat. I don't know why I said it. Okay, they get. I get that actually. Yeah, that's nice. They haven't introduced the power corrupt one where you get the token after it dies. That might come in Modern Horizons 4. Okay, so we get some life. They take some life, and we get another cat. And next turn we're gonna go kitty crazy. Nobody listened to Bob Barker. Nobody said please spay and neuter your pets. It was a cool card. They still need a blocker. Phelia, pretty terrifying because she can flip this, but I think we'll be so far ahead that we don't care. Yeah, they did take. They took the Bowmaster. Okay. Oh, they have a land, so they can Bowmaster. Yeah, that does it. We'll keep smashing. Okay. So we're just gonna double cat here. I think we're drawing wild after that shuffle. Delta is fine, so I can consign something now. I think I'm just gonna attack with everything and not show them that I have the double pride. Yeah, there's no merit to showing them. And then if they don't put something that is worth consigning here, I can just, okay, that works. So Wrath of the Skies would be really strong. And that is a card that sometimes these decks play, even though they play a lot of weenies themselves. That would be incredibly devastating, but we just can't stop that anyway. I do have a Surveil trigger here, which is nice. So we don't get any cat triggers because we didn't gain life. So if they Solitude, I can just stop the trigger. Overlord. When this permanent enters or attacks, mill 4 cards, and then you return a non-avatar card. And so they can get back a Phelia here that we can flip their other one too. They said, you got days. Let's see. I'm just trying to decide if I want to consign the trigger. We're denying them a card. I think I just let this go and surveil. Because they may try to Yorion. Like if they don't win the game here. I think they're probably going to get back Bowmasters again. I can consign the Bowmaster trigger. Okay, they could get back... I think Bowmaster and Phelia are the only two serious candidates here. Sunforge is okay. It's slow. They already have the Meteor Sword in the yard. Okay, they got the Bowmaster back. I'm just going to surveil. I think that's more important than stopping this trigger. Because if I can find a plow, I can clear the path and then I can still go to Cat Country. I could also find... Yeah, it has to be plow. And I have 3 left in the deck. So let's find one. Oh no, I grabbed the wrong freaking land. I meant to get the Surveil land. Oh, that was so dumb. Okay, well, that sucks. Yeah, Tomio. I'm going to just create a cat. Like, the game doesn't get better for us if we wait. Yeah, I'm so dumb. Like, that might have been... We might have found it. I think we lost this game. So we get the trigger. We do get a cat. Maybe this was a spurious attack. Tomio doesn't actually do anything, but she does keep like 5 drops so far back for a turn cycle because they'll probably bounce her. Yeah, I'm spiraling. I think it that was a huge punt because I definitely didn't want to draw Tomio there. I'm gonna stop this trigger. I need to keep this alive if I want to have any hope of surviving. So now they can't really attack. Like, I guess they can, and if they have a creature to deploy, I mean, they can definitely get a Stoneforge out of their yard here. But like their best Stoneforge targets are already in their yard. They might get Solitude and just take out take it out that way. But that is a 2-for-1. But I mean, like they've got so much value coming anyway, it doesn't really matter. I do think this is a favorable matchup. Like, it's not necessarily favorable, but I think it's like a 50-50 matchup, and I just need to not punt. So I'll take this damage. I've got plenty of life. If they play out a 3-drop, then I do get a clue, which may draw me closer to removal. Okay, they are choosing to go ahead and do that. And the card that they got was Solitude, I believe. They're going to clear our cat. Oh, they returned Witch Enchanter with the intention of just pitching it. Yeah, because Witch Enchanter doesn't do anything against my deck, but they just wanted to grab a card that they didn't care about. Okay, so they are sufficiently respecting the cat, and there is a player on MTGO named Respect the Cat. So they do have the Stoneforge from hand, but this just gets Caldera, I think. It might get the death, like the Assassin's Creed thing. Oh, they have a second pre-war. Interesting. Playing 2 pre-wars. Okay. I think pre-wars are a great card, but we're an exile-based removal deck. They're going to win this game for sure. There's no way that we draw out of it, but I am going to take a draw. I mean, that would have been pretty good a few turns ago, but I think it's too late. Good game. So it's worth noting that that game, I lost because I fetched the wrong land. Had I fetched the correct land and surveilled... Oh, wait, I don't have a surveil land on my deck. What am I talking about? Okay, so there wasn't anything I could have done. I did think about putting the surveil land in here, but I decided to go to 18 land instead of 19 just because we're so low curve. So there was nothing to be done there, but like had I had a surveil land, I could have fetched the surveil land and then binned the Tomio that was dead because they had the Crocus, and then from there I could have probably won because I would have just like plow. I would have drawn the plow a turn earlier and plowed that out of the way, multiplied my cats, cleared their very scary guy that was recurring their threats, but it didn't shake out that way and it couldn't shake it out that way. So I didn't actually punt is what I'm saying. I guess I punted in the deck construction. And I know probably a lot of you are like, just play surveillance. They're free. They're not free. And I'll continue to say that there are a lot of decks where you don't want surveillance. And this is one of them, in my humble opinion. Okay, so we're going to bring Daze back in. It is good against their deck. It's just not good on the draw. I think I'm going to take out the consigns. I actually think Static Prison might be okay here. I still didn't see any use case for Brazen Borrower. Dressdown is okay, but do we need two of them? Probably not. Maybe we just go to our original deck configuration for the most part. So we have brought in Prismatic Endings, which I do think are good. Yeah, I think I'll bring in a Static Prison. I'm just going to stay low to the ground. If the game goes on, we lose. Frankly, like we're not going to win a long game against this deck. It's going to out Apex Predator us. We're a tempo deck. They're basically a control deck. I know they're probably categorized as aggro in most things, but like they play much more like a control deck. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. It's not a fantastic hand, but it's not a bad hand. And it's possible that we can double cat next turn, assuming we still have a cat and they don't Solitude. One of the risks when you Mockingbird is that they can target the one that you're gonna target. But the good thing about this hand is it does have a second land, and it has a Brainstorm, and we can shuffle that land away if we need to. Like if they just play a basic, I'll probably shuffle away the Wasteland because it just won't be impactful enough. Ocelot Pride, and they could plow this, but they aren't going to be able to Bowmaster it immediately. They could also play a Guide of Souls, which I can't get through, unfortunately. I can mock their Guide of Souls, and then, okay, they just had the plow. All right. And here I think we're just doing Ocelot Pride and mocking it immediately rather than wasting them, which does mean that this Brainstorm doesn't do anything. But I want to get pressure on the table because, again, I do think that we're not winning a longer game. There is an option. Okay, hear me out. We get Ocelot Pride and waste them. Then we're just asking the question again, and then we have Mockingbird. I think I'm going to do that because this shuts off, because I would like to use Brainstorm, especially now that I drew that land, and I want to wait another turn to do that because I don't want this to be like locked, frozen out. If they get a Bowmaster, suddenly this is a liability and then this is trapped in my hand. Okay, they didn't have a white source. That's great for us. Wow, we might actually win this just on the back of them not being color screwed. Black does not cast a lot of things in their deck. Oh my goodness, that's an insane draw. Okay, so check this out. I am not on the Brainstorm plan anymore. I'm on the just devastate them plan. So I think we guide first. And I probably should have actually played out the island there since I was going to mock. I think I punted by playing this out. But we do have a lot of land, and we're pulling a land out of our deck, which thins a little bit. But, like realistically, we probably could have mocked there. I'm so used to playing shock lands that I'm just like bracing for a bunch of damage, but actually we do have duels in this. This is not a no reserve list deck. Okay, so now I'm going to go get a Tundra. I'm going to play this out, and it can target either of these. I don't think it's a discrete thing where you have to choose. It might be where they could just choose the thing that I'm trying to copy, but I think I can copy either of these when it comes in. Okay, so it is going to copy Ocelot Pride, I think, because then we get 2 cats and 2 triggers on Guide of Souls. It could target Guide of Souls. I think it should target this because if they Bowmaster, then we'll still have the whole combo intact. Okay. So we get the life. All right. And now we'll come across and they have a Solitude. They may use it just to prevent us from, but we've already gained life. So this is what our deck is capable of, right? Like this is why you play this instead of just like Delver, because you do get this combo going and it's insane. So we gained enough energy that we're going to be hitting with a flipped guide now, which is great. And what I'll probably do is just target one of these with it if they're not holding up Bowmasters. Because I don't want to like target it with Guided Souls and then have them Bowmaster it out from under the trigger. All right, that's totally fine. I think we can race that. If they have Phelia, it is kind of fast, but like I think we're going to be so far ahead of that by then. They're tapped out. They have to... they've revealed 2 Bowmasters. Okay, I think they're going to take a Bowmasters here. That's good. Now a Wasteland becomes pretty good because I think they drew that Caracas, but they may have not have. They may have just had the 2 drop, but I do think that those were the only lands in their deck or in their hand based on the playing of the basic swamp. So the best card would just be a Wasteland here. So I think I might actually brainstorm to try to find the Wasteland. I have some terrible cards that I can put back here. Oh yeah, this is very good. So I'll just re-guide and then I have days and I can just draw these whenever. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to play a land out this turn. So this sees it, and unfortunately, it's not going to trigger enough that we get the extra damage this turn. But I'm going to go ahead and buff this one since it doesn't have flying. And then they'll almost certainly ping this. But by then, we'll have an army of cats. And if they don't have a land, then they won't even be able to do anything here. So we'll always yield to these. I'm going to pay the energy, and I'm going to put it on this one that doesn't have flying. And yeah, that goes on the stack, but I don't have the energy for it. Okay. There we go. And if they have a Solitude, I can even daze it. Daze is going to be so strong here. All right. And we're about to gain so much life and get so many cats that, look at that. This is what victory looks like. Victory looks like. Yeah. Good game. That is how you beat a much bigger deck with your tempo deck. Round 2, we are 1-0. We're up against Hunting Jornerson, who mainly plays Esper Vial. This is a turn 1 Tundra Guided Souls. And then next turn we could Tamio. We could also turn 1 Tamio off island. That's the more conservative line. They are a Wasteland deck. They also play Caracas. I think this is fine. Static Prison if they get a Tamio flip. So just to look at their list, this is most likely what they're on. They were on it a few days ago. They 5-0'd with it. Very cool. Congratulations. It was actually yesterday that they did this. So I think it's highly likely they're playing the exact same 75 that they just 5-0'd with it. So Meddling Mage, Baleful Strix, like a lot of kind of one-ofs. Oculus. It's a very cool kind of toolboxy deck. But because it's blue, it is more exploitable than the other deck that we just beat, which is just like banger threats. Because this is trying to be kind of control-y as well. But you see they do have 4 Wastelands. They have Riddler and Overlord. So you absolutely have to stop Phelia. She's like the main thing in the deck. So if you can stop the Phelia, are they playing any Witherblooms or what is the card? Flicker Wisps? I don't see any. But they are playing Ong or Ang, I guess is he's pronounced in the anime. It's not an anime. It's an American show. So Ang is in there. It has gas. They've already mulled. I think I keep. This is gonna be a long game. I need to be decisive. I think I have to get the island here, and then like I just don't have to worry about Wasteland. So I think I just island Tamio, and there's a decent chance they have to use removal on that, and then they're not gonna be able to remove my guy when I eventually stick. Okay, so Tamio is gonna have to come down turn 2 now, because I need to immediately flip her before she gets Caracas back to hand. So at this point, like Wasteland is extremely live over there because they have a Vial, so that they are priced into dragging the game out. I think I'm just going to be a coward and I'm going to ponder and I'm going to island ponder for a second land. And what I can do is I can just static prison this thing later, but I just don't want to get wasted out of the game here. I think this is a shuffle. Now I do often play mono blue decks, so my opponent may not say, oh, there's mana screwed, but I am mana screwed. And Bowmaster could come out next turn. Lots of bad things could happen. We do have days here if they get jumpy and try to play a Phelia ahead of schedule, which, as I established, Phelia is just devastating against my deck. Oh, they don't have a second land. Okay. So Wasteland is also something we could draw here, but I really just like a Tundra. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do here, I think I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm. I can't Tamio and Brainstorm because this is untapped. I do think it's worth just static prisoning this So I think I'm going to brainstorm and then I'm going to static prison. Because they just don't have a path forward if that works. And then I have Guided Souls, which should basically keep this on the table forever. I think I'm going to put back both the Tamios. Now I'm going to fetch Tundra, static prison. And if they force, I don't have counterplay. I'm very excited to be using this card. I love this card. Okay, let's grab that. They're going to violate something in here. Unfortunately, it may be a Tamio. It is a Tamio. Okay, so now they have something they can do, but they don't have mana. So they can create these clues, but they're not going to be able to crack them. As far as I can tell, they can absolutely draw land here. So we're going to stick a guide, and then I can mock it. I think that's the way forward. Force is a great draw. Okay, and we do need to get this out. And okay, so what I'm going to do, start with Guided Souls. I will force to protect this. Force pitch or brainstorm, and then I'm going to mock it so I immediately gain an energy so I can keep this around. Right? My card resolved. That's pretty sweet. And now they could Solitude as well. That's another thing we have to worry about. Let's go ahead and try this. All right, we're in. So we get the trigger, and we're going to be able to pay for static prison, and we've got pretty good options next turn. I'm so glad that brainstorm totally changed the texture of our hand. And then we ripped up force. That's great. So they're stacking up clues, but they're mana screwed. We're very lucky this game. This is a flying blocker. I don't think it matters, but I will block here just in case they have like some white ninja. I don't know if they ever printed a white ninjutsu creature. I don't see how this could backfire. But it's just good housekeeping to block Tamio if you have the means to do so. And once we get this third guide, things are just going to start going crazy for us. Okay. So we will pay, always yield, and then we will yes. All right, and we drew the other part of the combo, so we're just sitting pretty here. Let's go ahead and player, double triggers, and then we can attack. We can give this flight, and the game's basically over from here, I think, if this resolves. Yep, and my opponent agrees. That was beautiful. That was a one-lander that, but like my opponent didn't think I would have an answer, and usually, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't, but I'm playing Static Prison as a Tamio countermeasure, and it just happens to be very good against Vial. This is one of those matchups where, I mean, Daze could be live, but it's probably not. But like you could snag like a Yorion or something really high mana value. I don't know that I want to take all of them out. Dress Down is potentially pretty good. Like we can stop a lot of beneficial triggers. Consign, I'm just not sure. I think I bring in a couple Prismatic Endings. Maybe I bring them all in, and then I just take out another Daze. I think I'm going to just do that. I'm not going to get too fancy here. Taking out Daze on the draw is generally totally fine. We still have the one of, and they won't necessarily expect it because they're going to assume we take all our cards out, but we actually don't have, we're like, our sideboard is tuned to help us be better against combo, not against fair. This doesn't have a threat, but it's totally reasonable hand. I'm going to keep it. We do need to get underneath them. So I will be forcing Vial. I don't have to force a Tamio. Basic Plains into Vial. So you always force Vial. It's just that simple. Don't overthink it. It's called Esper Vial for a reason, because of Vial. All right, that's a good opener. Let's do it. And my philosophy is just get the cat on the table and hope they don't have the Bowmaster. If they have the Bowmaster, the game's probably over, sadly, because the rest of my hand is cantrips. I mean, I can plow it out of the way, but yeah, please don't have the Bowmaster. Please, you have a 80 card deck. Surely you don't have the Bowmaster. They're only playing 3 Bowmasters. Okay, red. They're playing 4 colors? Is this Jeskai Vial? Squelcher. Okay, well, I'll plow that. That's a good card. And I'm terrified by it. Okay, so we have Daze now. That's a good rip. So I'm going to start with, I mean, knowing whether this is going to resolve is kind of important. I think what I do is I just plow, and then I can ponder based on that. Now I'm worried because they're definitely playing a different list. They weren't playing red in their list that they trophied with yesterday. Very skilled opponent, by the way. I've really enjoyed my games with them. They're one of my favorite opponents because it's always like really interesting. So let's try this, and I will yield, and then I will pay 2 life. Does it work? It does. Okay, great. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and attack. And once we proc this, we can go ahead and ponder, and we have Daze up, which makes it feel a lot better. And again, they're not going to expect Daze on the draw. And then what I'm hoping to do is find a Mockingbird, or better yet, a Guided Souls. These cards are fine. Yeah, I definitely want the plow. The land is nah. I can't shuffle it away though. So I'll just take it last, I guess. Because I can just brainstorm into it. I'll keep the plow in my hand just in case they have a way of looking at my hand. They can have one of my redundant brainstorms, which I don't really care about. Like it's not that great. Like we can shuffle away a redundant something that's on the top of the deck. Okay, now I'm actually happy that I have a third land. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, interesting. So I don't think Daisy's going to be particularly good here if they don't even have anything to do with their mana, but they could have a 3-drop, but like, why wouldn't they have just done... Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this brainstorm. I don't see how this could go wrong, because it could be that we find something that's relevant to this Ocelot Pride before attacks. Wastelanding them off of blue seems super good. So I think I'll put this back. Go ahead and waste first. Okay, and here's Phelia. I have to daze here. Unfortunately, if they daze back, it's pretty brutal. But I don't think they're playing daze because I think they have to have a very high. Yeah. Okay. Great. That worked. All right. We got the frowny face in the chat, which tells me that we're gonna probably win this game. It is crazy to go down to like 0 lands, but we have plenty of lands coming, and I wasn't going to be able to interact immediately, so there was definitely a risk there. Okay, Wasteland. Okay. They could have another Phelia, and I just need to be ready to plow. So what I'll do is I'll play this one out because I definitely want to fetch. I'll attack, and then if they have Phelia, I'll just plow her. Because they're definitely playing 4 Phelias. She's insane. She comes in. Let's go get our... And I had to do it that way because they're the Wasteland. They would have just wasted before. Well, they wouldn't have had the mana. Okay, so now we're just going to plow her. They're down to 2 cards. Okay, and they don't have recourse. They can waste us here, but I actually have another land coming, so it's totally fine. And I have a land in hand. I don't think you want to waste in this situation. I think you want to deploy threats. All right. So they are not on any... Okay, Ajani is fine. I think what they're probably going to do is go ahead and waste me as well. Yeah. So we're drawing Island. We don't have good attacks here. Oh, I thought we were drawing Island. Did I shuffle? I guess I did. Well, I think what we do here is I think we have to chill for a turn cycle, but the fact that they have red means that they could potentially use the other side of Ajani. So we have 2 options. One, okay, they could also have Wrath of the Skies, which would be devastating because it would kill their cat and flip this, and and it would clear our entire board. So what I think I need to do is, we haven't seen black this entire league, right? Have we? Am I crazy? I don't think we've seen black because last game they only played the Caracas is their sole land. So they may not have Bowmaster. So I think I'm comfortable waiting with the Brainstorm, but Hull Breacher is a card that they often play. But I know that I'm not going to hit anything that's relevant, and it's just going to rot in my hand for the turn cycle, and I won't have full information. I think I just wait, and I may not even cast this Brainstorm, but if they cast some must force card, I need to be able to Brainstorm into force, and I could hit force blue card. Okay, that's fine. I doubt their last card is action, but it could be. They've had so much action. They had the Phelias, Gilded Drake. So they're going to give me the Gilded Drake, and they're going to take my Pride, I guess, and I'll be able to hit them for 3 in the air. Wait, can they give me this? Control die. So they're not going to be controlling it, but then they'll have 2 cats. And if they attack, they can produce another cat if I block one of these cats. And they probably just won't attack this turn cycle because they could attack into Gilded Drake itself. Yeah, this is their last spell. I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm now just to see what I'm going to get. Just to have the option of force, but I probably won't. I've already used my 1 days. Okay, so we have Guided Souls and we don't have the other card. So what I'll do is next turn, I'll just play the Guide. So I definitely don't want that, and I'll just draw this later. So I'll play the Guide, and I'm just going to chill for a few turn cycles. I'll hit him in the air with Gilded Drake, but they are going to take my Ocelot Pride here, I think. Like, why would they take anything else? Okay. And we can't really block their stuff. If I play the Guide, they can't attack in. Well, they can attack in and then they flip, but I guess I could multi-block it too. Yeah, I'm just going to get on the the Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride train. It's just a slow train here. I'll just keep hitting them for 3 in the air. Yeah, they have not to attack. So Guide of Souls get on the table. There's no reason to give them the information that I'm about to play it. I'll just attack with a Gilded Drake. There is a world in which they're able to like somehow blink this, and it'd be catastrophic because then they could take my Guide of Souls and they'd have the whole Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride combo. Compliments of me. But this way, like next turn, I Ocelot Pride, and like they could draw a Wasteland here, which would be devastating, but they've already used 2, and they've got 64 cards left in their deck. And I think I just lose if they find it. So if I block, they get to flip, and they could have a red permanent. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't want them to keep getting cats forever. I think it's a calculated risk here. So that flips. If they have the red permanent, they can blast this, but I don't think it's likely they have a red permanent. Yeah, they're just creating a body. That's fine. And I can attack this to death next turn. Wow, okay, that's great. That's basically nothing at this point. It doesn't matter. It will matter if the game goes on a long time, but I have no intention of letting it go on a long time. They're hellbent, so we can just stick this Guide of Souls here, or Ocelot Pride. So we're going to start creating cats here. I'll just attack the Ajani in the air. And then later, I'll be able to attack them with the other cats in the air as well. Okay, yeah, this worked out very well for us. I don't think they wanted to draw. I did attack Ajani, right? Okay, good. I was freaking out. Like sometimes I like talking and I'm not thinking. It is hard, by the way, to do what I'm doing. Like not to give myself too much credit, but like it is hard to like orate and like share anecdotes, and talking while you're playing is a strategy, is a skill that you have to work to develop. I encourage you to do so. Use my guide. You can even play on Mac. If you have a Mac, it's actually better to play on Mac. And okay, Riddler. This is a good card. It's going to draw them 2 cards. I can't interact. Hopefully they don't find Solitude. Phelia would be terrifying. Okay, there's another land. Next turn, we're going to have Guide of Souls. And I think we're drawing a Chaff card. I actually can't remember if we've drawn through our Brainstorm yet. I will attack with all of our cats next turn. I think I actually should have done that last turn. I think that was a punt. But getting the City's Blessing would be sweet too. All right, so Guide of Souls. Get on the table. That triggers... How close are we to City's Blessing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we will get the City's Blessing if we're just patient. And I think that's better than removing these cats, right? Oh, I can attack with this too. Yeah. So I'll just attack with those in the air. Then we don't have to worry about Bowmaster anymore. They could have like a Tomio or something. Okay. They take 6. We gain some life, and we're going to be City's Blessing it up and gaining a ton of life. I don't know what their last card is. It's not Plow, apparently. Okay. We are definitely in the driver's seat here with our many, many cats and our much, much life. My wife is from China, and many and much are like basically the same word in Chinese. So for a while, she was just not sure when to use many and when to use much. It has to do with like countable nouns versus uncountable nouns. But well, we would just say mini much if she wasn't sure, which was very adorable. Wife of 20 years, 22 years. Okay, so they do have Solitude, it looks like. Oh, they're just playing the Riddler out. That's fine. I mean, they're not going to win. Like, I have Lethal Pressure on the table right now. They get 2 cards, but they need to be Solitude exactly. They're at 7. I think I can just swing everything here. I've got so much energy. Good games. GG's, as always. Yeah, keep rocking the freaking Esper Vial. Congrats on the trophy. I didn't actually say that, but like if he tunes in, he'll see that I said that. All right. That was a 2-0 against... So we've beaten 2 very, very good kind of creature control decks. Let's see what we get for round 3. Round 3, we're 2-0. We're up against a player who has a lot of range. I definitely think this Tomio Force of Will hand is good. They've already mulliganed. So like one of the reasons Tomio is just insane is she's blue and she can be pitched to force. Murktide also insane because it's blue, and even early game, like, you know, it's not a big deal to just pitch your Mockingbird blue gets pitched. That's fine. This is the Omnitel Island. I swear every time I see this island, it's an Omnitel player. All right, so I'm just going to Tommy and pass. Don't watch Tommy the Musical, the movie. There's like this horrific scene with like beans everywhere that come out of the TV. It's freaking disturbed little kid me. That's for sure. By the way, sometimes people are like, why do you call her Tomio instead of Tamio? I know everybody in America pronounces her Tamio, but she's from the Kamigawa Plain. And in Japan, they pronounce her name Tamio, and that's how she's written on the Japanese card. And, all right, so that's that. Obligatory like reminder that I realize everybody else calls her Tamio, and that's totally fine. Okay, so let's play this. I will shock it in. I'm not sure what I'm going to use the mana for, but like the life probably isn't going to matter here. I could have led with the Wasteland just in case they like. So Omnitel doesn't play Wasteland, so are we up against Merfolk? Like this could just be blue-black tempo, and they just happen to have an island start. I think that's the most likely explanation here. It will suck if they have a second waste. Okay, it's blue-black tempo, I believe. And I probably will just waste that. If I keep my waste around, though, I can draw cards. I think that's better. Yeah, I think I'm just going to draw cards. Because at this point, like, we're already on the value train. I don't actually need to force a Bowmaster because I can just copy it, and that's even better. So I think I'll just chill with all my mana up just so I don't get dazed. Double force is not what you want to draw against tempo decks, but it's, it's fine. And here they're paying mana and using a card to draw, and we're just getting cards. So we're definitely advantaged with this Tamio start. I'm having fun with this deck, by the way. I'm really happy to be back in the saddle with this. Now that we just accept, okay, Tamio's part of the meta. It's not going away. The ban just happened this morning. As I'm recording this, February 9th. The ban, the non-ban, no changes, which is what I expected. I don't think she's overpowered. I just think she's kind of unfun. All right, and here is where the Bowmasters comes in, and I'm totally cool with that. I will instead use my forces to ensure that Mockingbird resolves. Okay, and they don't have it. And Plow is extremely powerful against their deck. I do want to draw a card here just because I don't want to go to discard, but like I could go even harder into discard. Let's see if they have some interaction here that I can force. That'd be great. You know what? I think I'm just going to accept that I have to discard. Discarding a Plow definitely feels bad against a creature deck. I mean, they could be on the blue-black show and tell / Baragoyf deck. That would explain why they haven't done anything. But I think they're just on like a bigger version of Bug Beans. I don't want to throw away a Plow. It's just too good if they do have creatures coming. Because like being able to answer 2 consecutive Baragoyfs. I'll pitch a Merc here. With all the cards we're drawing, these forces actually are pretty good. Especially if we can play them around days. Okay. And again, I'm just going to do this. And I don't know what flash threats they could have other than Bowmasters. But if they Bowmaster, it's totally fine. I just want to find lands so I can play around days. Yeah, I'm not going to fight that. It's quite likely I'll need to use both forces to stop this, but it's going to be very good against them. My Mockingbird is going to be very good against them. Okay, we found a Guided Souls, which is nice, but what I really need deck is land. I know I'm playing, a minimal lands setup. Come on, land. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this and hope that we can make this work. Because if this doesn't work, I am kind of on my back foot. Should I attack first? I am going to attack first. I will stack those clues and use them eventually. And I don't want to like somehow inadvertently flip her. I don't know how that would happen, but I want my clue. Okay, and now that we've done that, I will attempt to deploy my Mockingbird. And if all goes horribly wrong here and we like have gone to 0 cards basically, and they still have a Bowmaster on the table, we can always Plow it and then just draw off our clues. It probably won't use all of our mana. So if they fetch it at some point, then I can daze, but I can't now. So I was hoping they had a force on the stack and then I could daze. Okay, well that's pretty good. So I think here I'm just going to force pitching a Brazen Borrower. That is an answer to the thing, but I've got Plows to answer the thing. Okay, they're forcing back. All right, I'm going to let that resolve first, just in case they have like Fluster. I don't think it'll matter too much, but now I'll force again. And I'm holding Daze just as like an emergency. I've got powerful white cards here. Did I force my own Mockingbird? What happened? What happened? Okay, let's take a look at the logs. I screwed up. I probably just punted the game. I forced their force. I think I forced my own force. Okay, that's humiliating, and I guess I deserve to lose. Yeah, well, I don't necessarily lose. I'm not going to scoop, but that was a humiliating thing. I think I don't know what happened exactly. I just got confused. Sorry, my excellent friends. as I frequently say, when I punch, I do feel genuinely bad because I want to give you like tight play and exciting back and forth and stuff. Like this is a favorable matchup, I think, and I think we'll be okay because I'm going to plow. But if they have a Wasteland here, they already played out that, so we're not going to get wasted here. But we are going to need to clear this. And I just, like, losing Mockingbird there was absolutely devastating. Okay, this is a good draw. So I'm going to go ahead and plow. First and foremost, that needs to happen. And then I can plow again if I need to. Okay, and now we'll attack. I mean, we were very far ahead, and we're still far ahead, but Thoughtseize could happen. A lot of things could happen here. I do want to deploy this Guide of Souls. They can Bowmaster me in the instep. It's not that big of a deal. I can daze back. I think I'm just going to go get a Tundra and I'm going to deploy this. This way I have a blocker. Well, I'm not going to block that. I guess I should waste them here. I want to stick the guide first and then I'll probably just waste them. But then that means that if they waste me, because I don't want them to be able to get Kaito, that would be annoying. And if they have a daze, they could put Bowmasters on the stack in response to this. I think I just need to wait to upkeep and then I'll waste them in the upkeep. I don't like this, but I do fear Kaito and they're likely playing two of them. Let's go and waste that one since they have the choice of the two so they don't get any more surveil value. Okay, that worked. All right. They're going to come in for 2. Unearth. They're just cycling it. Okay, yeah, because I have exile-based removal. That makes sense. Okay. Are they on... Like, this is typically played in Doomsday shells. So they could be on a Doomsday deck, which is terrifying. Like, you don't generally see this outside of Doomsday because it's part... Like, you can build a pile around it. So my opponent may have just revealed to me that they are on Doomsday. Okay, let's see if we draw like a... Okay, that's fine. So I think I want to draw... I'm not too worried about dying out of nowhere. I'm going to go ahead and draw first. Because if I find a land... What are the odds I find a land, though? It'll inform what I do here. Okay, Merc's fine. I am going to just chill. I've got more than enough clues. I guess I can attack for 1. I don't think that's going to matter. Okay. But this way, Tomio can block here. And then if they kill it, I can just plow it. And I've gotten so much value out of her anyway. It's not a big deal. Also, I can make a giant Merc next turn, which black is traditionally pretty bad at answering Murktide. They have like Shielded Edicts, which I have lots of creatures. Because they have a second Undercity Sewers. But I don't want to lose any more life if I can avoid it. I mean, this will gain me tons of life, but it's contingent on me having a certain card. The worst thing they could do is waste me here. That would actually be pretty devastating. But I do have double white, so I could countenance it. I could tank it. Yeah, and I have to block here. If they have the Bowmaster, they have the Bowmaster. But I just, like, I would take potentially 4 if I didn't. And also this stops Kaito from coming down if that's on the menu. Gosh, I feel so embarrassed, but I'm glad I didn't spiral out. I didn't shame concession. That never shame concede. Always take stock and say, okay, do I still have a chance here? Because I do still have a chance here. Okay, they're on Doomsday. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about this. I have Plow for their creature if they don't completely clear their pile. Murktide will be a lethal threat, I believe, at this point. Yeah, I can make him an 8/8, a 7/7. Not lethal, but with Guide of Souls potentially lethal. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win, but they did have to use their pedal there to get the third black. So my read on Unearth was correct. It's not just a value card. Like, I wish we were still in a legacy where you could play Unearth as like a value card, but it's just too limited. And that's why my opponent had to cycle it there. And I just want to emphasize, like, had I not screwed up there, we don't know that they didn't have yet another force, but had I not screwed up there, they would be under a Bowmaster this entire game. And like, it would make their pile much harder. And we'd also have more material hitting them in the air unblockably. So it was a massive punt what I did. All right. And I didn't see any cards from the graveyard get selected. So Unearth should still be in here and I see it. Let's do the Buffalo Chicken Dip Fop. B's for Brainstorm. They have a Brainstorm. C's for Cyclers. I see Street Wraith, Edge, Cavern. They'd be crazy not to clear their pile completely. F is for Force. I see all 4 forces. So they didn't have a force in their hand when I forced my own force like a fool. Yeah, if they're not going to go Cavern, then Daze might be able to do some work if I find a Wasteland. This is a cool list. It looks like... Oh, I don't see LED either. I don't see how they win through value. I probably just have to jam the Murktide and hope But they have a brainstorm, but maybe with the amount of land, they could brainstorm. Consider's not in the pile. Also worth noting, they are playing 3 Dazes. I don't even see Thoracle in there. They might have 2. They're on a 4 Tomio deck, I think. I see 3. Unfortunately, you can't sort if you're wondering why I don't just sort it. You can't sort it. Yeah. Cool build. It looks like that might have been the only Bowmasters. Like a lot of these decks will play just 1 Bowmasters. It looks like they're playing 3 Wasteland. Oh, they could have just a bunch of petals. Let's count their petals. I only see 1 petal, so it's possible they have petals and the Jace. But it's also possible they have the second. All right, I'm going to just chill here. I don't think there's any risk of us dying to combat damage, so I can definitely attack with Tomio. Guide sees Guide. And then we have Plow Up and Daze to win. It might be smart. Like if they don't think I can win immediately, they may be building like a more pass the turn type pile. I don't think that's likely. Why would they give me a turn when they have the LED line? I'm going to have to hope that Daze does the work here because I do want to put the Merc on and get him in check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I could put the Mockingbird in there. I don't need it, and it increases the size of Baragorf. Not that I think that Baragorf would be a good option here, but yeah. So we gain a life. Let's attack with both. This puts them at lethal next turn if they do attack. And I could just play out a Guide of Souls and maybe another creature to kill them. Okay, so it'll be humiliating if they don't clear their pile, but I just wanted to get them in check. I think it's more likely that you presume that they know what they're doing. Okay, this happens. I think they're likely going to get a petal, and maybe they just Guide and hope that I don't have Solitude because I did tap out of Plow, but they didn't know I was going to tap out of Plow, and I do think I plowed something earlier, so they should know that I have Plow. This has been a great game 1, though, for sure. I'm excited to see what games 2 and games 3 bring, if there's a game 3. They are disadvantaged once we know they're on Doomsday. Dark Ritual. I think we have to let them go. What is this going to do? I'm correct. They didn't grab Unearth, right? I think they're going to cast... Well, they can't cast Jace off this. They have to have a petal in addition, and then they will be able to resolve it. Then they'll be able to use the Jace ability. So Daze won't stop them. Oh, Baragorf. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I definitely don't want to have to... Okay, interesting. Why? Why Baragorf? That is a very interesting decision. I'm glad I got the creature out of my yard, by the way. Okay, so what could we draw here that's good? I mean, Double Daze probably is good enough. So I think I just plow and then just smash all. I could even plow, smash all, and then have Double Daze up. I think I keep a plow up. I think it'd be irresponsible not to, just in case they decide to go for it. So I'll just plow here. Make sure this resolves. And now they have to win, through Double Daze, through a plow. They're not going to be able to clear their pile. And I just hit them twice and they're dead. I can swing with this. I don't think I'm going to die to an Orc army. Okay, and they scoop to that. Wow. I think they misplayed, is my read. Like, I'm not sure what other options they had. Dress Down does stop the win con. I think it's worth playing here. Consign does too, but I think it's less reliable. Prismatic Ending clears Tomio, whatever her state may be. Static Prison is maybe better if they're going to be playing Baragorf. So I guess they have 1 Baragorf main. Yeah, I mean, Static Prison is probably better than Prismatic Ending. You can also deal with the Jace if they somehow get that out for value. So we just have to decide what we take out. Against the combo deck, I don't think you ever take out Daze. Brazen Borrower doesn't do a lot. It does clear Tomio if Tomio gets squirrely. I think I might be able to take out a Plow. I don't think they're going to board into a heavy creature plan. I think they're going to try to turbo me. That's what I would do. Like I have 0 Doomsday experience. I've never even resolved a Doomsday before. But my thinking is like, how are you going to beat this obvious creature deck that plays Guide of Souls? Well, it's not going to be by playing more creatures, I don't think. And we can just, like, this also kills Baragorf if we have a blocker. Yeah, let's do this. If they're going to turbo, it might make sense to bring in Force Negation on the draw. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You know what? I think we just don't care about Baragorf. I'm going to take out the plows, throw Caution to the Wind. I'm going to take out a Ocelot Pride. Is that right? So non-blue card. I I like the flexibility of Static Prison. Yeah, I'm going to do this. We just went down dramatically on removal. We might get bitten for that, but my read is they're probably just going to say, okay, well, I screwed up there thinking that I could beat them through a fair means. I'm going to need to beat them through unfair. And this is the perfect kind of hand that I think we don't keep just because it has 0 interaction. And they're already mulliganing to trying to get a quick combo on us. This does have dress down. They keep. Wasteland's good. I think we could put back the Ponder. I'm going to put back the Mockingbird. It doesn't do anything with this hand. Dress down, they have to stop that. It doesn't matter if they have uncounterability. If you dress down, then the Thopsis Oracle doesn't trigger and they lose. So if they go for a quick Doomsday here, I can't react, unfortunately. They don't. Okay, Tomio. I think I just see their Tomio and raise them one. Well, that's not actually how it works. Oh, that's a good draw. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and just Tomio here. And I do have probably more mana in my deck than they do, but only slightly more. But I have a Brainstorm for Tomio. So if they flip Tomio, I have 4 outs to a flip Tomio. I might just force a Brainstorm. That definitely feels bad, though. Okay. That's fine. It sucks because I don't have a card draw engine and they do, but okay. And if they have a Brainstorm, it's really bad. They do. Oh, Ponder. That's fine. All right. So Wasteland's a dud right now. It might come in handy, like if but they're going to be able to play out a land and cast a Barragoyf before I can do anything. I just need to find a creature. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to Ponder first. Then I'll just decide where to go from there. I could fetch first. I could also Brainstorm, shuffle. Oh, the Wasteland is a dead card, I think. I don't think it's going to be relevant to the game. So yeah, I'll do that. Mockingbird's bad. We can win with Murktide. So I'll put these 2 back. We have double force now. I'm just going to go ahead and Ponder now. I don't know that I like that, but it does give us forward momentum. It sets up our next draws, and it gets us into the graveyard. So next turn, if I draw a fetch, I can Murk. And Murk will be big enough to, even at a 4-4, it'll stop a Tomio. But we may have to pitch our entire hand to stop a Doomsday here. Okay, so let's think about this. This is the combo. But do we need the combo? I'm not convinced that we do. I can take the Mockingbird now, and then I draw Guide of Souls. But like if they flip Tomio, then the Guide of Souls Oslo Pride combo doesn't do anything. So I'll stick the Guide first, and I'll hold up Mockingbird, and I guess I can cast Mockingbird. I think I am going to get on this train, though. And then I'll just pitch Murktide to force. Murktide would be 5-5, but yeah, we'll see what happens here. I don't feel good. They're down to 3 cards. They haven't flipped their Tomio, but they did get some selection there. I probably will force a Brainstorm if they have it. If I force a Brainstorm, then I can just stick Murk. Yeah, I think that's the path. Oh, no. So I kind of have to commit to this because I just showed them. And I don't want them to know I also have a forced negation because that's just like a total spew. So I punted really hard here. But like maybe I should have just done this anyway because now I can't stop a daze. But they would have daze there probably. Let's go ahead and just get our mark out. And hopefully this resolves. 1, 2, 3. I'll take the creature out and the land. Blue. Does it work? Okay, that's great. Now, Brazen Borrower, if they have that, that'll get forced. They're going to be dead pretty soon. Bitter Triumph. I will force that. This is one of their few answers. Please don't have a daze. And I think that's a situation where it was beneficial for us to not show them that we had the force. We did spend our entire hand. Now we have the combo. I'm going to go ahead and attack first because like knowing that we have the combo may change how they attack. But we're dead to Doomsday if they find it. Okay, they're taking it. Now it's going to be harder for them to win through Doomsday. Bowmasters is still quite good, but we will get a little bit of value on the way out. And now I have like 0 fear of a Barragoyf or even a Murktide. Like I've raced Murktide here, and I've got they'll have a bigger Murktide, but I don't think it'll be too bad. I can buff my Murktide. They do have clues they can crack, but they're like under so much pressure. Are they dead on board? They might actually be dead on board. Yeah, that doesn't even matter really. Which it gives me great joy to say that doesn't even matter. If they attack with the Tomio, they're dead. Not necessarily, but they're likely dead. And then we just have infinity blockers here. So one option is just to borrow this out of the way and swing in. How big is this? 3-4? Actually, I think I just borrow this out and then I swing and then like this will do combat damage. Yeah, I want to do that. I think this will be the game ender here unless they happen to have a daze or a force for it. Okay, and now we get extra cats and they're taking a lot of damage. And now we will, like assuming this survives, we will get a cat and energy and now we have even more flyers to rain on their parade. And they are sacrificing Tamio here. Feels good. This deck is performing exactly how I wanted it to. I'm very happy with the performance of the deck so far. One of the things that I didn't want to do was put Murktide in there because it does kind of make Mockingbird worse. But Murktide is just so good, like in situations like this, like ending the game. Now they have to Doomsday and win from 2 mana with 6 life. Yeah, we got it. Sweet. We have only lost 1 game so far. See you in round 4. Round 4, we're up against an opponent who plays a broad range of decks, including a lot of Affinity Stompy. We have Guided Souls into Mockingbird Guided Souls, so we might be able to gain life just to stay out of Death's range. I have beaten Affinity Stompy a lot with this deck. Actually, I think it's a very favorable matchup because the cats and the life gain. Like there was a game where my friend Luis up at Boardwalk Games, he literally did like more than 100 damage to me, but I was gaining so much life that he just couldn't stop me. So this is not that deck though, because that deck doesn't play Tundra generally. Most unfair decks do not play Tundra. White is like the fairest of the colors basically. So I think we can just probably proceed with confidence that like maybe they're on what we're on. I don't know. They're a 60 card deck. Tundra pass. I think I'm just going to go get I'll do this to make them think I'm Jeskai build. Because the color you choose can influence, but like the reality is I just got 4 of each because I don't have any planes in my deck. They stifle that. I'm just going to chill. So they're on Stifle Knot. That's fine. I have a force. I'm not going to throw away value. Okay, now I do need to worry. Okay, Plow's not what we're looking for. I am going to go ahead and just play the guide and let them waste me. And then I will play the island next turn and start pondering. Okay, they didn't have a second Stifle. Stifle is a terrifying card. When you're playing a deck like mine, it's like kind of playing on the margins of what you can accomplish. Like it's all 1-drops, but if you have 0 lands, then you can't even cast your 1-drops. Okay, Phelia is going to be a force here just because of what she represents. I know I can plow her, but like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pitch. I kind of want to pitch the Mockingbird. And the reason is, no, Mockingbird can actually, like, I could pawn her to find something. Yeah, I think I need to keep the pawner around to find something here. Hopefully they don't have days. Okay, we stopped her. That's great. So I think they're probably on the, one of the Riddler Phelia decks, which are very strong, by the way. And you'll see a lot of that on the channel in the coming months. I'm very enamored with that combo. I think Riddler Phelia is even better than Riddler Overlord. I actually sold my Overlords on MTGO because I just don't believe in black-white taxes as like the archetype where we want to be. Okay, the fact that they didn't use that, they might use it now. Okay, they're not using it. That's good for me. So what I'm going to do here, so they didn't shuffle. I do think that there's a decent chance that they could have Stifle Knot, but they're like, we have Plow, so we can just kill the front side of this card if it comes out. I think what I do is I play this out, and I'm just going to play the guide. That triggers. Okay, always yield. And now I think I ponder because I want to find another force or a daze. Yeah, my hand's fine, so I'm not going to cast Brainstorm here. The later in the game you cast the Brainstorm, the better. That's a force and a Mockingbird and a land. Okay, this is great. This is like exactly what I needed. So we're going to hold the force to go with a Brainstorm. I'll just come in for 1 here. And we'll pass, and like they may find the land they need and just waste this later, but like I'm pretty sure they didn't find a land in their top 3 because they didn't play a land there. They might have found a daze though. I think they found another Phelia and they're just going to play her out in their end step, and so I can just plow her. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and mock here, and this will give us flight on our guides, and they're going to die very quickly, and we're going to gain a ton of life. This may be the breaking point where they're like, okay, fine, you've got me all force, but it's not. Okay, great. Okay, let's go ahead and hit them for 4 here. Permanently buffing one of these. And they may have a plow here to hit the one I'm buffing. That is fine. I will allow it. I'm not going to force that. I just want to stop the Phelia that I think is coming. So she resolves, and then I'm going to plow and I'm going to fight over the stack interaction that they have. I will fight over that. Try not to force my own spell here. Okay. Is she dead? Okay. Well, we're in a very dominant position now. That is very good for us. We need another creature to trigger this energy. There's a Tamio. That's fine. Most of my creatures are blue or are white, unfortunately. So, oh wait, I'm drawing a fetch. Okay. So that's not the end of the world. I'll just play this out. And I'm going to go ahead and come across with everything. I could hold this back to deter them attacking, but I don't care. I just want to get them dead. Yep. And they're going to take 4 here. And even if they flipper, like if I find something, I can trigger this and make these bigger. Even one of these can keep her in stasis. Yeah, they brainstorm immediately after creating the clue. That's fine. So we do have to deal with we have to play the Tamio mini game. I am going to fetch in the end step to thin. I'll just get my Shockland out of my deck, I guess. All right, let's do that. And we're just looking for any creature. I'm going to waste this land. Do this now. And then I'll just hit Tamio to knock her back down to the right loyalty, which is 2. I don't want to always yield to this because I might need to respond later, but yeah. And they don't have lands. They can't crack that clue. They may find land. They might find a Wasteland, waste me off of white, and then I can't cast more creatures. But for now, things are looking okay. That blows it open. That is very good. Do you have force? They force. So the game goes on. That would have basically meant that we could kill Tamio this turn cycle. But unfortunately, we can't. So I think our draws are better than theirs because we have mana and they don't. But we do have to worry about if Tamio ever breaks away. Come on, creature. Oh, prison does it. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. They force that. Okay. So they're down to 3 cards over there. We'll keep Tamio in check here. Again, it's going to be 3 more months of this. Get used to it. I'm going to try not to complain. I'm playing Tamio myself. A good thing that somebody said the other day is it's kind of messed up that you are wrong when you're not playing Tamio in a blue deck. Basically, you're just wrong. It doesn't really matter what you're playing. Merfolk is maybe one deck that I can think of where it wouldn't make sense to do that. I'm going to hold this in case I get to brainstorm it away. They are a solitude away from victory here. Or a plow. If they draw a plow, that'll probably win it for them if I keep drawing like this. But brainstorm does give me 2 cards. And we've used 0. No, did we pitch 1 brainstorm or 2? We pitched 1 brainstorm. No lands. We're getting lucky. I mean, we're getting unlucky in what we're drawing, but we're getting lucky in that they're not drawing lands. Wasteland. Should I put them on notice? I don't think so. Because I think they may be inclined to just fetch a duel, and then I can waste that out from one of them. Because they don't want to be stuck on one color. And I don't think I'm going to draw anything where I need this mana, so I'll just hold these in case I draw Brainstorm. Because being able to immediately get 3 fresh cards would be insane. All right. And again, this is the Tamio play patterns, unfortunately. All right, there we go. That's a good card. So they can't daze. I think I could just play this out and not even bounce it. Yeah, I think that's actually the correct thing. Just attempt to play this out. And I guess I could have played the Wasteland there. So they have to stop this with a force. They have the 3rd force. Okay. Yeah, because that would have given me 3 energy and allowed me to kill her immediately. They may have found the land and just are holding it out of respect for Wasteland, but I think they genuinely are just breaking the land, which has got to be extremely frustrating for them. They've seen a lot of cards. I might have hard cast force up, so I'm going to play that out, and I'll just attack in. I may just auto-yield Tamio's thing, because who knows how long this is going to go on. We're drawing to 1 more guide and one more borrower and 1 more static prison, and then we also have good stuff we can do here. Yeah, that's fine. You can't waste me. I'm going to waste myself. So your waste is going to fizzle. Small victory. I shouldn't do that since this could be a match that goes to time. I just can't help myself. I'm a goofball. All right. If I had been attacking them at this point, we'd be dead because they would have ultimated. So we are doing the right thing here. This is the brainstorm. Show me the money. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So I'll put this back. I want a static prison just to clear her, but it's unlikely they have the 4th force. I think I just keep... Yeah, so I'll put this back. I'll put this back and I'll just Tomio and Static Prison here. And I'll do it in that order. Because this basically, this is actually is devastating for them. Yeah, they just skipped to that. I didn't think about it, but that would have allowed me to clear her as well. So I didn't even need the Static Prison. Okay. So that was a good game. Brought to us by our opponent, stifling and wasting us and us drawing out of it and them not drawing the lands that they needed and having already used their Wastelands. So Prismatic Ending gets in the deck, I think. It is a good answer to Tomio. I think they are a very low to the ground deck. This also answers Phelia. Daze comes out on the draw. I don't want to cut it completely, but I could bring in a dress down. I think I need to keep it just in case. Like I might be able to use it as a trick to save a creature or save a land from Wasteland. That's a frequent use of Daze. Is like you just put a flash threat or you instant on the stack. This is keep. Like this doesn't do anything, but I'm not gonna. I can just completely ignore the tempo dimension of their deck if I play patiently here. If they have turn 1 Tomio, it will be a problem because I will need to find a solution. We got the Snowman land over there. This should have been a Snow Island. I'm sorry, but if you're going to make it like that, just make it a Snow Island. Come on. Okay. Daze is fine. I'm just going to chill. I don't have Surveil, so I'll just play this out. It's unwastable. I might instep Brainstorm just to get further into my deck if I need to. I definitely don't want to have to Daze something, but I will Daze Phelia. They're coming for another. This is going to be another Tomio snooze fest, I can tell. Just a reminder that I do have timestamps. If you're like, okay, enough Tomio. Yeah, there's the Ponder. They didn't play a land, so they are subjecting themselves to Daze, but I think they probably just presumed that I took my Dazes out. I do think I showed them Daze last game, but like I don't want to set back my progress. Yeah, they do find a land. Okay. I think I'm just going to play the card quality and not Brainstorm here. Static Prison is great. We could just do it now, but I'm actually not sure how long I can hold it. I think what I want to do is go ahead and play this out, and then I'm going to Brainstorm. And then I'm going to shuffle, or I'm going to fetch. These are pretty bad cards. I like the Wasteland. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need this many lands. Let's put this back. Let's put this back. Now I will fetch. I mean, I could just put her in prison, but it feels wrong. I think I'm going to cast a Ponder here and just, like, I do have Murktide to think about. Like, that'd be something good. I have an answer now if she flips. There's the Murktide. Mockingbird sucks here. Tomio is great. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'll just leave Mockingbird out. Yeah, and I'll just do it like this. It doesn't really matter. I don't think my opponent's going to Thoughtseize me or anything. And so now what we do is next turn we fetch away the Mockingbird so we don't have to deal with it. And then we're almost to Murktide. If they flipped her by then, I can Static Prison. What is this? Riddler. It's fine. If they try to consign it, I can Daze that. I think that's what they're going to try to do here. They're going to create the clue. And then they may have a Daze as well. Which if they get to keep their Riddler, it's pretty bad. I can Static Prison it, but they may have like some way of bouncing and getting the Riddler back into play. And it wouldn't be warped. In that case, they would get to keep it. Okay, and I'll just Daze here. Not happy about it, but like it needs to happen. Like, do you have a Daze? Or a Force? They Daze back. Okay, so I think we're going to lose, sadly. They did Daze a card back to their hand, so this Wasteland is not going to be good. We know that. Okay, so I think here what we do is first order of business, get this off the table or we're going to lose. Luckily, like mercifully, Tomio did not flip there. So I'll just fetch. That has to happen just to clear the Mockingbird, which sucks against this deck. I don't think it's very good. Static Prison is dangerous in the sense that they could have Phelia and then just blink it out and get their card and everything. That'd be annoying. I think I'm going to try it though. I could have also just murked and held them back with that, but like, I think I'll do that next turn. And we're going to test for the second Daze here. I think they'll use it if they have it. They don't. Okay. So they're going to waste here and then I'll just deploy the Murk. And this will eventually come back in 2 turn cycles, actually. It's very soon. They're brainstorming here. I can't stop it. So they're going to be able to Tomio. I don't think it was a mistake to take the Static Prison off the, like, but maybe I should have Murked there instead of doing what I did, because that would be much better positioned. They're getting a ton of card quality. They also have clues they can fetch. They could find another. They're probably going to waste me here, and then if they have another Daze, that's probably GG. I do have Brainstorm. I could flip my own Tomio, but it's not really going to do enough here. I just have to hope they don't waste me for some reason, but why wouldn't they waste me? Yeah, they are going to waste me. Okay. So they didn't shuffle their ponder, so that tells me they probably found a lot of really good stuff. Okay, this sucks. I will pay to prevent it, but like there's not a lot I can do here. I think what I need to do, they're going to get it back in like 2 turns. Or they're going to, yeah, because I pay for it next turn. So I do have a couple turns to find an answer. I think what I do is I go ahead and come in. I don't know that I want to Merc here. They can minus, they don't really have like anything really powerful that they can get. They may already have a plow in hand, which is another reason not to Merc and to try to find my combo so I can generate energy. I think I brainstorm, and then if they daze, I just land brainstorm again. Because I do want to shuffle this away, like these lands. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's good. So I'm going to shuffle away the Wasteland. I don't think it's of consequence here. They have another land in hand. I'll shuffle away one of the Mercs. Wait, I'm not even shuffling. I don't have a shuffle. So, what am I even doing? I think I'm just playing land and passing with mana up in case I need to force something. If that's the case, then I might as well... Yeah, I'll just do this, and then I'll play a land, and I'll draw a land. Yeah, and it's possible they have yet another Wasteland, which will almost certainly kill me. I mean, I can still play out the Murktide, and I'll have 1 turn to swing when it's at 8. Murktide will be huge. Okay, they do have another Wasteland, so that's bad news. I think I'm actually going to use this mana. Just like I don't have a lot of mana to work with here. This puts another type in the yard and helps my Murktide grow. Okay, and just more of the same. I mean, Ponder can technically shuffle. But they are going to get their guy back. If they're going to get their guy back, then I plow and I can attack through. Yeah, it's not a good situation. I'll just draw that for turn. So we still have a force up. Yeah, okay. That sucks. They have clues they can crack. Lockmare. Remove a card, draw a card. I think I have to force this because like it's yet another blocker. And I don't have the ability to plow next turn. So I'll force here. I mean, like, I'm just dead to so many things. This is a cool card, by the way. I'm excited to play with it at some point. I'm not convinced this is a great card, but it's cool. All right, so this is still in effect. All right, so let's go ahead and Merc. Wait. I'm going to get back my force here because we're not going to be able to win with Tamio, but we do need to get this force on the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full-size boy. He's going to need to swing twice. Okay, and I'll force here because we're dead if they are able to successfully force this. We're in. Okay, and now they need to plow this, and then they get their guy back. I plow their guy. They draw a card off of it, and then we have to swing in. Is that just game? I know what I'm drawing, right? I think it's like a ponder. Yeah, I actually can't think of a way I can win anymore. Oh, I could ponder into another static prison, I guess. That's like the only way. Or, oh wait, I don't have a ponder. I guess I already used it. Yeah, good game. Okay. They're going to draw. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Them having these blockers was pretty critical. Oh wait, this isn't a flyer? For some reason I thought it was a flyer. So I could have plowed and attacked. So that was a premature concession. Sorry, my excellent friends. I think we could have hit them there and they would have gotten a card and they were ahead by a lot, but that was totally premature. Oh wait, I haven't conceded yet. I haven't conceded. Oh, I thought I conceded. No, wait, it says this game is ended. Okay. So, yeah, I did concede. All right, let's go to sideboard. Man, sorry. I'll tighten up. I do want to get a trophy if I can. Lockmare is a cool card. I think the daisies come back in. They're just freaking razor thin margins like over there. Their mana might be built like mine, where they're just counting in like dazing constantly, so they play fewer lands. Dress down. I don't think it's where we want to be. Prismatic Ending is very good here against Tamio. It also hits Lockmare. Yeah, I feel like we should play these. But then, so there's a tension. Static Prison, like, it really only hits... What does it hit that Prismatic Ending doesn't hit, is my question. I don't know. I'd much rather just have the flexibility of Prismatic Ending. I don't know that I'm going to be wasting them at all, and these are really, like, well, I guess if I'm bringing in the dazes, I should be wasting them. It's really tough. Mockingbird could capture that guy that comes in without any counters, and it's just a 4/5. I don't know that that's good enough at 2 mana. 2 mana for a flying 4/5. Is that good enough? It might be. I think I keep the Mockingbirds in. It's part of my combo. So then I just have to decide what the cut is going to be if I want to keep this Prismatic Ending in. I mean, Static Prison is probably better than Prismatic Ending in most cases if we're trying to tempo them. It's just that if we get in like some, dirtily state, I think I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to try to be the aggressor here. Like their deck is not a fast deck. It's kind of an AB combo in the sense that they have, it's AB, I get really far ahead. Just like my deck is not truly a combo deck, but it does get very far ahead. I am going to take a risk here. I'm just going to guide and hope that they don't waste me. I do have a Wasteland that I can waste them back. They're milling to 6. So I can protect my guide, but there is a very real risk that they waste me and I never draw another land. And I will lose pathetically if that happens. Okay. So we're going to be aggressive. High risk, high reward play. This has been a great series. I like their deck a lot. Okay. And I probably wouldn't have dazed there even if they forced. I'm just deathly afraid of Wasteland. Please don't waste me. Island. Tamiyo. I think I'm going to daze this because it represents like a way that they can win even if I go crazy with guides. They may daze back, but they're on the draw. I don't think that they would have the full 4 dazes in their deck. They forced that. Okay, that's fine. They forced their own card. They did the same thing that I did. They scooped. Okay, so I don't think you should scoop there. I don't think you should scoop there because like what I was saying earlier, I forced my own spell. I can't remember if it was like the previous round, but yeah. Are we 4-0? Holy cow, we're 4-0? Okay, cool. Well, let's go to the trophy round. I feel like I've been playing like crap for the most part. Sorry. Not to be a sore winner, but like I'm not proud of my play. I think I punted like several times and it feels really tenuous. I'm stunned that we're 4-0. Okay. But we're up against Kane 23. Likely Delver Pilot. This hand doesn't do a lot, but it has a lot of land if they're on tempo. It's a Tamiyo start with the Onslaught Pride finish. If they're on blue-red, this might be good enough because the life gain is so good. It is a freaking 5-lander though, but I'm worried that I start chasing like a 2-lander or a 3-lander, and yeah. The fact that we don't have a Surveillant and literally all these just represent like some land makes me not want to keep it, but not knowing what my opponent's on. What if they're on lands? They said they like the channel. All right. So I am going to keep this. Again, like I would not fault anybody for throwing this back, but I'm on 18 lands. It could really hurt. Okay. Island start. All right. We're playing, like I think, has every round been blue here? I think we played black-white taxes, if you want to call it that anymore. Black-white blink. Black-white Phelia. 3 Phelia decks. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. And I want to encourage them to waste me, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. And I want to encourage them to daze this or force this or somehow respect it. Because I have another one. Tommy was doing her, like she got out on parole. Her lap. I'm trying to come. Okay, so this tells me they could be on breakfast. They have played breakfast in the past. It's not super strong right now. We could absolutely lose to it. Now we know they're on breakfast. And next turn, we're almost certainly dead unless we draw something really relevant. I am going to be wasting them here. Plow! Oh, force. That's actually really reasonable. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and waste them just in case. And I will hold up white just in case they daze me. Because they could have Cephalid Illusionist and just end the game next turn. And that would not be good. They would also have to have some sort of stack interaction, but I don't want my force to get dazed and then lose humiliatingly. Brainstorm's fine. Main phase Brainstorm without necessarily having a land is great for me. And this is why she's so oppressive. Like, they basically have to move. If this were just like Onslaught Pride, I guess they'd probably have to move there too, but yeah. Okay. So I think I can probably put my Pride out this turn. Murktide is just another way to end the game later. I do want to get the Pride out just because it can start multiplying. I could crack clues as well, but I think it's correct to play the Pride out. They would have to have double days and a win con here to stop me. And these clues will pay off later because I'll have tons of mana out. So in a way, like drawing like Tamiyo with a lot of lands is totally reasonable. They're fetching in their upkeep for some reason. They may have known that they wanted to do that. Okay, they've got double blue over there, respecting Wastelands. Plains. If they have Orm's Chant, they can win. That is a force. I will force pitching redundant Tamiyo. Please don't have a force back. Please don't have a force back. Oh, they have a force back. Okay, well, we get to look at their deck. But yeah, that sucks that we lost. So this wouldn't have really done anything. Like I could have potentially drawn into another force. Oh, I'll actually take a look at my top card, but I would have fetched. So it doesn't really matter. And also you just treat like, don't, like you can look at the top card to see if you would have gotten there, but you didn't get there. It's not really going to do anything for you. I just try not to look at the top of my deck afterward because it only leads to heartbreak. I'm going to keep going. They are playing pretty stock list here. Step through. Step through is not necessarily stock, but luckily we don't have to worry about the Nadu angle. I would be sad if I lost a trophy to Cephalid Breakfast, which I consider to be a pretty underpowered deck. But my opponent has a lot of trophies with it. Not a lot, but like some. Okay, and we see the cards they need in their graveyard are their Pact of Negation. This is a really aggro combo. I'm going to bring in my Force Negations. I don't think they're even playing like Stoneforge Mystic or anything. Always make them have it. I know I've scooped prematurely and people are like, oh, of course you're saying always make them have it now. But, or always wait for them to win. Because I have scooped in the past, but I just want to emphasize, I am of the opinion you should always wait. They do have a small fail rate, but I see the Cabal Therapy. I haven't seen any other black cards other than Dread Return. They may have the two, like the pre-Nadu tech of having two black sources just in case you have to cast Dread Return out of hand. If they therapy me, I can concede here. But they probably already have a pretty good idea what I'm playing, especially if they watch the channel. Thassa's Oracle, so they're just going to win. I think Dress Down might be a good call here. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else worth observing about their graveyard? They are on the 3 Saga plan. They've got green in there too. So they've got Memory's Journey. How many Underground Seas do they have? I don't see any Underground Seas. So that means there's a possibility Therapy could get stuck in their hand, which is kind of sweet. Yeah, I'll just concede there. Good game. Well played. Okay, and now that we know, just like with Doomsday, once you know they're on Doomsday, it's like knowing is half the battle. As like GeoJo used to say back in the day when I was a kid, and I totally didn't watch GeoJo. My parents actually didn't let me watch GeoJo because they didn't want me to grow up and join the military. And I'm actually very thankful for that. I respect the contributions of our troops, but it would not have been for me. Not because I'm like a scrawny kid, but it's like that conformity thing is not like, that's the whole point, is to get you to conform and always follow orders. And I respect people who are able to do that, but that is not me. I like who I am, being rebellious and bucking against trends and trying to, play crazy brews and stuff like that. Like, not that this is a crazy brew. Okay. And it's not just about Magic. It's about many features of my life. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab Prismatic Ending. I don't think Prismatic Ending helps. It can get rid of the thing, but Static Prison can too. But I can definitely see a situation where we Static Prison and then like a turn or two later they get their Shuko and they win. So I think Prismatic Ending is better than Shuko. Or than Static Prison. I do think it's better than Shuko as well, for the record. I think Shuko sucks. It's the worst equipment ever printed, but it happens to be good with that one other card that also sucks unless it's compared with Shuko. So Wasteland definitely stays in. Dazes stay in. Dress Down is great. We have to make some cuts. I could take out the Force of Negation. Since we're playing Daze, it probably is better. We're on the play. I'll bring this in for game 3 maybe. Murktide, I think, comes out. I'm of the opinion that you just don't want Murktide against their deck. First of all, their deck has Plow. Second, like, you rarely need to close quickly. You almost always need to close safely. Dress Down is doubly good here because it deals with the constructs and it stops the Thassa's Oracle trigger. Yeah, this card is really good in this matchup. Okay, so we took out the Static Prisons for Prismatic Ending. We took out the Murktides for Dress Downs, and Brazen Bar was good too. It can temporarily break up the combo. It's a blue card for Force. I like this configuration. Let's do it. All right, this is double Wasteland. I actually think that's fine. Attacking their mana is really good. They may choose to go on basics, but I can lead Ocelot Pride and then mock it, and then just get Cat City and ignore the Tamio for now. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Again, we could absolutely lose from here. Like, I could definitely mulligan into a more aggressive, like, interactive hand, I guess. This is an aggressive hand. I could mulligan into an interactive hand. I'm mulliganing 6. It is very possible that Ocelot Pride is just not going to get there in time. I'm going to try it. I don't think Tamio is going to draw us enough clues in time, and she's a blue card that I can pitch to force. I will waste like literally any land they put out that can be wasted. Okay, that's going to get wasted. And if they plow here, that's fine with me. That's fine. And the weak point of their deck, it's a 4-color deck now, is their mana. And we're just going to keep layering this on. I will go and do this so they can't daze me. I'll just hold Mockingbird as a blue card for force. And we'll start creating Tamio clues. And maybe the game will go long because we waste them so much that but they're almost certainly going to fetch basic here if they get a chance. But I would love for them to, yeah, I mean, they could just win usually 2 turns from now. I didn't see Petal in their deck. Force! Love it. I want to play this out. I don't want them to fetch basics. I just want to keep wasting them. And this way I can draw a clue, but I will do that in the end step after I've safely forced around days. Learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel. Drink scotch whiskey all night long and die behind the wheel. All right, here we come. So the Wasteland would have deferred fetch, but they were going to fetch basics anyway. Brainstorm is fine. They can have a perfect brainstorm here. It is very good for them. All right, they're passing. So I can crack a clue here. They may have a plow. Okay, another land. I was hoping they would fetch and plow, and then I could force and then I could waste them. Because the thing I'm scared of them doing is like everything in one turn. I know that if I play this out, I'm going to spook them off of it. I'm just going to come in. This is my second league, or this is like my 8th match. I finished out the other Esper league earlier, and my MTGO is starting to chunk here. Okay. I think we just play the Tunner, but we don't really need it. Like, we get closer to Hardcast Force that way. I really want to go after their mana. I want them to not get basics. I don't care if they surveil. That's fine. 2 points of interaction is hopefully enough. Okay, they didn't fetch. Like, they're super disciplined. I want to say, like, my opponent's playing extremely well. I love these basics. Portal 3 King, or this is just a regular portal. A prismatic ending. I think we let it happen. We've already gotten a lot of cards. I don't want to let my guard down even for 1 second here. They have to have a land. They have one more basic in there. Okay, great. Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. Wasting their lands. Working through. We could have kept the Howling Mine going at a high cost, and it was not a price I was ready to pay. Okay, we got a threat. And a second force. I like this a lot. Do I want to deploy both? I think I'm going to deploy both. They don't have plow up right now, which is important. So we still have 2 points of interaction if they try to go for it. And we're just going to try to end this game with these Mockingbirds. And hopefully this final Wasteland will find a target. All right. No plays. Love it. Another Tommy. This is double force. Let's come across. This could be plow. No? All right. So I think it may be greedy to play out this Tamio because we have double force. But Tamio helps us get to City's Blessing faster. It'll just be utterly humiliating if they've like double force and I can't stop them. But like Daisy's going to do something because they have to spend 3 mana here. I'm going to play the Tommy. And we played out this Wasteland. They can fetch their last island out of their deck. But I just wanted to make sure that like, I don't know, actually, was there a good reason? Like I can Hardcast Force in a couple turn cycles. We're very close to City's Blessing. At which point, we just need to buy some turns. Okay, they're not doing anything. This favors us. I think we've won this game. All right, Hardcast Force land and City's Blessing. Craziness. Game's over. I got Hardcast Force and Pitchcast Force. And it might be more conservative to just crack one of my mini clues that I'm going to get here. I will get mini clues. Yeah, this is the game here. I can't imagine a way that they win from here. Because I get clues. Look at that. They're dead on board, and I've got so many clues. I just need to draw 1 blue card, and I've got double force up. The Wasteland tactic worked, for all we know. All right, it's all coming down to this final game. It's a tough one. I think we cut a land on the draw. Let's cut this Hollow Fountain. Prismatic Ending is probably where we want to be. My reasoning is Force of Negation doesn't stop the actual cards that win the game. I mean, it can technically stop a Shuko. It can also stop a protection spell. I don't think we're going to be able to win with Daze. I think I'm going to swap these Dazes for Force Negations. And it's scary. It's very scary to be up with so much on the line. because I really want this trophy. By the way, I never tell my opponent that like I'm 4-1, like or 4-0. I'm about the trophy, because it's just like I don't want it to influence how they play. But man, I really want this trophy. Like I don't feel like I earned it because I feel like my play was a little sloppy this game. But like if I can do it, if I can get this trophy, I will feel really good, because I want to put this deck back on the map and show people like, hey, it still works, it's still good. We've had some great matches today. It might be worth keeping a daze in, and what we pull. Maybe we don't need this many prismatic endings. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring in a daze. All right. So we need at least one land, but we don't necessarily need more. We need interaction. They will probably mull to a fast kill because they'll know that like the fair route with the Urza Saga Constructs is a pipe dream against our deck. If we get a dress down and 2 mana and some sort of force type of effect, we could do that. They may have brought in Orm's Chant, which is a terrifying card that invalidates a lot of our interaction. Instant speed interaction is at a premium, and Wasteland is at a premium because they often deploy all in one turn. So you can't count on forcing the prismatic ending from stopping them. This hand is good. This is a good hand. It doesn't have any pressure, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it. And I'm going to hope that they kept a hand with some wastable lands. If they just turn one, planes, play the dude, then we're in big trouble. Okay. That is not a wastable land, but they're unlikely to be able to win on turn 2 without having one of the combo pieces in play. So I think we can go ahead and just ponder here. I'm going to ponder, and then I'll save the brainstorm shuffle for later. Now I'm going off of 2 forces though, but I think we have a turn to do that. I will probably be brainstorming and putting back like at least one of these wastelands, because I think they're going to play careful here. Plow is very good. These are all good cards. I want them all, but I think I take the force now because that's what I'm going to pitch if I have force. And the plow is great. Maybe I don't need this force negation. It's the least important of these cards. So I'll take the ponder now, and I have double force up. Granted, only one of them can stop the threatening card, and I will go to Hellbent to stop it from hitting. Like, unfortunately. Like, I won't go to total Hellbent, but like, I'm giving up my ability to brainstorm. But I have a ponder. Or no, I'm using the ponder. So what I'll do is, if they play out a creature, it's fine. Then what I'll do, and I will waste that the next turn, and I'll just draw the third force negation, or the third force. So I'll draw a plow. It's kind of terrifying because what I think I need to do, if they do play the Nomad Encore, I probably need to go ahead and plow it rather than wasting them, which means they'll have more mana to potentially win the subsequent turn. They don't. They don't have they already played out their land too. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and waste them, and I'll just pass. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to respect their ability to daze. Does that make any sense though? I want to hold this brainstorm to actually win. Yeah, but my hand's not bad. I don't really need to put back any of these cards. Okay, they have the basic. So we can keep them on 3 mana, but not entirely because they can play the land out. Okay, so that is frustrating. I have to let it go. I try to find prismatic ending here. Okay. I try to find prismatic ending here. I can still plow. This is not the same as... Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass, and if we get into a force fight, I force the thing, then they might be able to pact it or interact some way. But like, if they play it, then I'll plow it, and then I'll fight over that plow. And if I get to the instep and they haven't done anything... So this, unfortunately, has to be forced. I'll force a negation. Pitching a ponder here. I'll force a negation, pitching a force negation. Yeah, force negation is not good. And now I have brainstorm shuffle if I absolutely need to find something here. But they're not going to fight back because if they fight back, they can't win, I don't think. But I could force and then I plow when they play the creature. But they have a land in hand they're going to play out. Okay. So I think do they have a land? They almost certainly have a land, but if they play it out, they subject it to Wasteland. All right. So here, I'm going to brainstorm. I'm just going to get rid of this Wasteland. I know what they have. They have the, I don't know with extreme certainty, but I feel it's highly likely they have it. So I think we Tamio here, and then we keep up double plow. We can't do that. We might find I can't. Wasteland's a stinker here. I don't want Wasteland anymore. So I'm going to do it like that. And now I'll just go to my upkeep and I'll shuffle. Plow is going to be very important here because they have Shuko line. So I need to get a Tundra, and then I also need to draw a Tundra for maximum safety. Okay, Mockingbird doesn't really do anything. It does pitch to force. So options. I think I ponder and try to find a land, so I have double plow up. Okay, this works. So we don't have the combo here. Ocelot Pride's fine. I could copy it and start going to town. I think that is the line, because that'll end the game like faster than a lot of the other lines. So I've got double plow and force up, and I'm just going to hope that they go for it. Once they go for it, I can double plow and force, and it's likely that they will not be able to win the race. But I do think they have a third land that's probably wasteable, and they're just being careful about deploying it. So if they go for it again, I probably have to force pitching Mockingbird. I think Tamio will be better over a long game. Okay, we got another turn. That's great. I think the play here is because I want to keep the double plow up, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Tamio here. And we're settled in for a very long game, unfortunately. But I just want to be extremely safe. The trophy's on the line here. They've got 6 cards in hand. That's fine. It's better that they use their plow then than that they plow my Ocelot Pride, because I want to be able to mock it. Brainstorm. It's terrifying because they've already got half their combo. But they're not drawing to Nadu anymore. They're drawing to exactly the wizard, and they could have 2 copies of it, but I have 2 plows. They don't have the mana to deploy 2 in the same turn cycle, so I'll get an untap. Okay, so now I'm looking for Wasteland again. I know I shuffled it away earlier. It was probably inevitable that they eventually played out a land that could be wasted, but it wasn't necessarily. Okay, so they would have to have Petal to win here. I think they're baiting me because they've already played their land. Did we see any Petals previously? I don't think we did. I'm going to let this go. Just because, like, fundamentally, I don't think they have a Petal. Oh, they had the Petal. All right, they win. Good game. Yeah, I didn't see it previously. They have 2 Petals. Okay, what is this? They definitely have it. All right. I didn't want to get baited in because, like, Ormshant, I'm 2 for 1-ing myself. Yeah, sorry, my excellent friends. I don't think I saw a Petal. Maybe I should have seen it. Let's see. I mean, I could just review the video, but those 3 cards. Okay. I didn't see the Petal earlier, but they have the win, unfortunately. I'll make them do it. I can just have 6, actually. Yeah, I had a great thing, but the Ormshant is going to do me in. It's unlikely that they have any of the cards that they need in their hand. Yeah, because I was like, but why would they do that? I thought they were just baiting me. I should have given more credit, and I'm not necessarily going to win anyway, frankly. But that invalid, the fact that they had 2 Petals in their hand is very elucidating because it tells me that they, and I see the Dread Return in the Oracle. Good games. Good games. Oh man, they outplayed me. They, I thought I was so smart. No, they don't have Petal. Did they play Petal in their sideboard? I mean, I genuinely don't recall seeing it. And maybe I'm not conditioned to look for it because I haven't played against this deck in so long. But I have lots of reps with it. I've played. I won a 1K with Breakfast, so I know how to play it. And it's just that I wasn't expecting Petal. And if I missed it, it's totally on me. And I just punted the entire league away because that's how it works. You make a single mistake really, and Legacy is very unforgiving, especially over an entire league. They did mill Petal earlier, so I just missed it. Again, sorry, my excellent friends. I know it's a frustrating end of the league. The league did go pretty well, though. I like this deck. I do think it is capable of trophying. Let's take a look at the list. I mean, Static Prison not being instant speed is a pain. You could play March of the Lordly Light. I'm not convinced that's a Legacy playable card. It doesn't hit Tamio, unfortunately. That's the main problem. Yeah, man, that just totally deflated me. The fact that I punted that way. Because it was a really exciting, tense game. So I forced their hand was Petal, and I don't remember what their last card was, but they had a lot of air. I figured they had lots of forces and stuff in their hand. So what I thought was going to happen was they're going to bait with the Ormshant. I force, and then the next turn they just like but maybe I shouldn't have worried because I had double freaking plow. Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself. I mean, like, this is one of those situations. I think in one of the previous videos I said, like, I don't publish leagues where I humiliatingly punt. For the longest time, I'd like have lots of leagues where like I'd be doing great, and then I just punt in some utterly humiliating fashion like this, or earlier I forced my own force. So that I probably would have just thrown the video out at that point because it's just so humiliating and hard to watch. But I guess the lesson is, first of all, assume if your opponent's doing something, they're doing it for a reason, not just to bait you. Because like they watch my channel, they probably know I'm not a total dum-dum, even if I am occasionally dumb, and I certainly was there. Why throw away a perfectly good, powerful sideboard card chant? And man, I just feel so dumb. Like I should have and I said the pedal out loud. I'm raging. What is it that Will Ferrell says? I'm in a glass case of emotion. That's it. There's Will Ferrell. I won't play it. I don't want a copyright strike. Okay. So, list feels tight. Mana base, great. Like there were situations that were a little touch and go, but again, because everything's a one drop, basically, you're fine. Murktide this is not the best Murktide deck. You could absolutely swap Murktide for something else. It felt like the matches where it was close was like Murktide wouldn't have done anything. Like he did help close against Tomio, I think, in one game. I don't like Murktide in the Mockingbird shell. I'm just playing him because he's a generic good card. Other cards that you can consider, Halia is good. But the problem is she's legendary, so she can't be copied by Mockingbird. The main problem I have with this deck is Mockingbird is an insane card, but there's only 8 targets, so he often just doesn't do that much. And I have like a 3-color version that plays Bowmasters, which is very good with Guided Souls because double trigger, and you can just play, and you can put Snuff Out in. And I might play a league with that, but I'm not convinced it's good because when you play 3-colored mana base, like suddenly, you're constantly just getting taken apart by Wasteland. And Wasteland is the most commonly played card in the format, I think. Let's check. So if you click on Legacy on MTG top 8, you can see 61% of decks have Wasteland. I'm sorry, but like you are very much rolling the dice if you try to play a 3-color deck. And that includes Mardu tokens. I genuinely think that it shouldn't be Mardu. I think it should just be Boros, right? The red-white. Because like you're subjecting yourself to so much risk putting that 3rd color in your deck. Beanstalk, the reason I've stopped playing Beans is I'm just so sick of getting wasted and like having to have this elaborate mana base just to facilitate 4 freaking enchantments that I think you just want to be blue-white, frankly, and you want to have Phelia and Riddler instead of playing Beanstalk right now. Because Wasteland is out so strong right now. And I don't know that it's ever been this high. This seems really high for me. And it's not like people playing one Wasteland. It's like the average number of Wastelands in a person's deck is like 4, I think. Let's take a look. Would you like to know more? Yeah. Average 3.8. 61.2% of decks. Right? And the fact that Force of Will, this is the last 2 weeks, yeah. Yeah, so Eldrazi's play it. I don't need a list. It's harder to come up with a list. It's easier to come up with a list of decks that aren't playing it than that are. Doomsday even is playing it. We played against Doomsday with it. Breakfast, I guess, is like 0% of the meta. Let's see. Yeah, Cephalid Breakfast, 0.6. So it's slightly closer to 1% than 0%. But man, I feel so humiliated that I lost. I feel like I was playing very carefully and then that one moment of hubris. But let that be a reminder to you. Don't overthink your opponent's plays. Like they're casting this. Are they really trying to bait me? Or are they trying to use a level system? Like usually you're just better off just saying, okay, that card destroys my entire defensive. If it resolves and if they have pedal, I'm going to force that. So do what I say, don't what I did. I hope you enjoyed the league though. I had a great time. I'm just going to be freaking tossing and turning, rolling in my sleep. Why didn't I force the freaking, I feel so dumb. And pedal hasn't been played in Breakfast in a long time, but it makes sense if they're playing, they're doing a much more combo-y build. There wasn't any mid-range. I should have just assumed because I think the chance came in from the board, but like if I just looked a little bit more careful, I would have seen the pedal. And even if I hadn't seen the pedal, I probably should have just forced that. I think it was just I got greedy. Yeah, I could just wax and wane and yammer on about this, but I screwed up. So I wish I could end on a positive note. I will end on the note that like I think this is a good archetype. Like obviously it performed really well despite my punts. I think it is still very weak to Tamio. We did have to do the Tamio dance a little bit where it's like at any point if they drew like a plow and removed our one threat, they could have just Tamioed into the stratosphere and won. And I think Tamio might have even gotten I think she did get a game on us. I don't like Murktide here. It doesn't feel right. I don't think that other cards like Voice of Victory are a good replacement for Murktide though, because they're not blue. And you do need to have a high blue count. What I did in the past was I just played 4 Brazen Borrowers, and that just answers anything. And we're a tempo deck, so we can often counter it on the way back down. Brazen Borrower can be copied. Brazen Borrower was good the few times she showed up in the league. But I just, like 4 Brazen Borrowers, come on. Like, what are we doing? There has to be a better solution. But I feel like the mana base is fine. I don't think you need the Surveil land. Other thoughts? I don't know. Like, I will say that it's not sparking joy, frankly. Like, I think that's part of it is like, yeah, it's cool when you get it going, but it's not sparking joy like it was before. And I think a lot of that is just because, like we're playing against a lot of combo decks and, Guide of Souls plus Ocelot Pride is very powerful, but it's not the win immediately. And a lot of times they'll have the win in the meantime while you're just getting your value and stuff. I do think the lifelink attribute is very powerful. The fact that we can gain a lot of life, get out of the range, the fact that we can laugh off Baragoyf or blue-black tempo. I think we're actually pretty well positioned against blue-black tempo. So the weaknesses of the deck are definitely Static Prison and Murktide, but I just don't know what we could do in that place. So leave comments with timestamp or just comments in general with how you would clinic this deck. But I will say it doesn't feel like a trophy winning deck. I do think we got some breaks there. I was thinking about it, like even if I get to shout trophy, I'm not going to shout trophy very loud this time because it just didn't feel like everything was coming together. It felt like, yeah. So I'm going to keep woodshedding on this. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.